Alright guys, today we have a little bit more of a serious episode than usual. That's because today is all about tournament and tournament results. And tournaments are serious. So I like to joke around on this channel. I like to keep things casual. But I am a competitive person. I do like to compete. Not to the point where I'm an annoying competitive person, but to the point where I'm gonna give you my best shot if we're competing against each other. So if you don't know, for the last month I've been competing in a Mike Iaconelli tournament. This Mike Iaconelli tournament is a charitable tournament to help kids, and 588 competitors are in this tournament. So a lot of people have contributed to helping these kids out. It's a great thing that Mike Iaconelli put together, and I was glad to join it. And so a little bit about me, a little bit about real journey. It's been 10 years since I fished FLW college fishing. And so it's been a while since I was in a tournament. Those were the only tournaments I ever went in. I fished 4 tournaments. First 3, I placed in the top 10 with my co-angler. And really, I hadn't fished since I was little. So really it was just the beginning of my real journey, to be honest. And it really got me addicted to fishing. And I've been fishing since almost nonstop, at least as much as I can. And so for the last 10 years I've been fishing. I haven't been in another tournament until now. And I did it now because 1, I learned of the tournament. 2, I had a chance to compete against Mike Iaconelli, one of the premier pros in bass fishing. I may never get a chance to do that, so I thought I gotta take this chance. And I'm gonna document the whole thing because right now I'm gung-ho on growing this channel and really becoming a big enough YouTuber that I can really put out the type of videos that you want to see. I'd love to grow to the extent where we're fishing out of bass boats and we're going to all the lakes around the country that you want me to go to. That would be great. We're far from there though. But my plan, my goal is to get to that level. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. But back to this tournament. This video is about the results of this tournament. So first I need to explain to you how this tournament works. There's 588 competitors. There's a North and South division. I'm in the South division where the big heavy hitters are. Mike Iaconelli is actually in the North. Week 1 I made a video where I said I beat Mike Iaconelli in a tournament. Technically I did, but technically he's fishing up north, I'm fishing in the south. It's a little harder to beat someone when you're in the north because the fish are just big down here. But I will say the north put up some very respectable numbers throughout this tournament, but the south, that's where the heavy hitters are. So in the south we have 2 winning categories as well as the north. It's the same 2 categories. Longest bass wins. First place, longest bass wins. First place, 3 longest bass wins. That's it. Those are your winners. And so I knew fishing out of my local ponds, I wasn't gonna probably win first place in either of these categories. But I still, not having fished in a tournament for 10 years, I still had something to prove in here to myself. And so my goal was to finish in the top 10. So going into week 1, let's take a look at the results. Week 1, 3 longest bass, 9th place. And 8th place didn't actually have pictures of their bass. So technically, I finished in 8th place week 1. Because if you don't have pictures of the bass, you could just be making it up. So they may have caught those bass and I still cracked the top 10, or they might not have. So technically, 8th place week 1 for 3 longest bass. For longest bass week 1, I came in 19th. I didn't expect to do that well in longest bass, single bass, in any week, really. But I caught a 22-incher, and that's a pretty respectable bass. I actually caught a 23-incher. It was the very first bass I caught in this tournament, and I accidentally, because I didn't use this app yet, I accidentally took a picture of the bass on the measuring board with my camera, and then I even filmed the release of the bass with my phone, but not while I was in the app. So that bass did not even count in the tournament. It would have actually helped me out quite a bit. I think it would have jumped me to like 3rd place in the 3 longest bass, and it certainly would have jumped me up quite a bit in the biggest bass. But we wouldn't have won, so no big deal. Week 2, I think I came in like 55th place. Not bad, but not where I want to be for longest bass. And then because I didn't catch any really long bass that week, I was putting out videos. Mind you, in this like 28 days, I've put out, including this video, I've put out 16 videos. So I've been putting out a video every other day, and my videos usually are they're edited pretty heavily. So it's not like I just go out and I film something and then there's the video. There's a lot more to it than that. You'll just have to trust me if you're not familiar with filmmaking. So week 3, I had to kind of redeem myself from week 2. I spent a lot of time doing a lot of different types of videos, and I didn't spend enough time fishing for this tournament in week 2. So week 2 week 3, I'm sorry, for biggest bass, I came in 11th. That is extremely well. I didn't think I'd really crack the top 10 in big bass, and I almost did there. And then 3 longest bass, I came in 6th place. So I cracked the top 10 2 out of 3 weeks. Now yesterday was the last day of week 4, the very last day of the tournament. I'm gonna get to that. But let's just say I was sitting in the top 10 going into this last day. So this last day, I go out in the morning and I immediately catch a nice bass. It helps me a little bit. And I'm sitting in the top 10 and I'm thinking, if I catch one more big bass, I'm gonna skyrocket up this board in my very last week of the tournament. So I was gung-ho to put out a video where I catch a big bass and I really help my standings. So I'm fishing some more. I catch another bass. Alright, it's a little one. So then I go to a new pond. It's a good sized pond. And there's signs of life, signs of big bass. There's other people fishing there as well. I go and make a cast, and midway down my spool, my line snaps and my chatterbait goes flying. I just lost my chatterbait and half my line is gone, so I can't fish with my main reel anymore. So I put it in my car. I do have my brand new Shimano Corrado 71XG with me. It's going to be more of a pitching and flipping reel, but I have 20-pound fluorocarbon on it, and I have it on a 7-foot. I have it on a long new rod that I haven't used yet either. So this is the very first time I'm fishing with this rod. This is the very first time I'm fishing with this reel. but I'm like, I need to catch one more big bass. I'm adjusting it. I actually put on a good amount of the brakes, but it's brand new fluorocarbon. Sometimes it can give you trouble, and it completely crow's nested on me really quickly. And what happened is there was a knot in it pretty far down the spool, and it's already a shallow spool reel, so that line's no good. So I go home early and I spend the rest of the day editing the video that I put out before this video. And then it's getting late in the day and I go, it's not sitting well with me. It's the last day of the tournament. I haven't caught one more big bass to finish off this tournament. The last week of this tournament. So I go and I grab my old bait casting reel. It's got some issues. I painted it. It's actually being given away in the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And I'll tell you right now, when I fished with it, I noticed a few more issues with it than I realized it had. So I'm going to be adding a second reel to the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And if you watch this video after I'm past 1,000 subscribers, I would still recommend subscribing if you like fishing videos, because I'm giving away something at 2,000 subscribers. And when we reach that milestone, I'm sure we're going to set another goal with another giveaway. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe now and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Alright, so I noticed some issues with this reel as I'm fishing. I end up breaking off my other chatterbait. So at this point, I've ruined line on 2 reels. I gotta spend the money on the line, and I've lost 2 chatterbaits. The sun's pretty much down. It's behind the trees behind me. There's a little bit of light left, but the day's like over. But you know what? It just doesn't sit well with me that I came all the way back out here and I didn't catch a fish. I'm trying to catch this one last big bass and really put a dent on that leaderboard. So I go into my bag, and the one thing that I really have left that I can fish with is a stick bait. So I put on the stick bait, and mind you, the rod I'm using has quite a bit of bend in it. Not ideal for a stick bait, but I didn't bring a lot of stuff with me. I just kind of ran out the door in order to get some fishing in before it got dark. So I start fishing with that, and I hook up with a fish. And when I set the hook on that fish and it starts running across the water, it was like the drag didn't work. I couldn't pull in that fish. So I literally had to pull the rod while holding my line to bring this fish in. So let's watch that now. And I'll lift it up. I just got a nibble. Got one. There's a fish. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, first cast. Ugh. Oh, he's tangled up. He's tangled up. All right. Oh, wow. The hook came out. The hook came out as I grabbed him. So I do catch a fish to finish out this day, finish out this tournament that's been a month long. Most of my subscribers started subscribing shortly after this tournament started. So you've been along for the ride for these 4 weeks of this tournament, whether you've realized it or not. And I actually measured that fish and it didn't quite help me. So it was unfortunate that I didn't put in one last big bass into the final week of the tournament. But with that said, with the 3 longest bass I finished in 8th place in week 4 of the tournament. And in Biggest Bass week 4, I finished in 21st. But there's a number of people that were unverified, so that actually might have been higher. They also did an overall. So you have your week 1, 2, 3, and 4. They take your biggest bass from every week and they rank you in biggest bass. They take your 3 biggest bass total from all weeks and rank you in an overall category. So it's almost like a 5th week. Well, in 3 biggest bass in the overall category, I finished in 10th place. So 4 out of 5 weeks, I guess you could call it, I finished in the top 10. So I was very consistent, just like when I fished FLW college fishing, and we came in the top 10 3 out of 4 tournaments. In this, we came in 3 out of 4 top 10, and then a 5th category, so 4 out of 5 top 10. So I really am glad that I did this tournament. There's that burning competitive desire inside me that I haven't fished a tournament in 10 years. So this was really, really satisfying to compete in just some local ponds near me and crack the top 10 so consistently. I don't know how much better I could have really done. I think this is actually where I wanted to end up. That's what's really kind of amazing about this situation, is I really felt like someone was going to crack the numbers that they did crack and I wouldn't be able to touch them in the ponds that I have. But I did feel like if I really fished well, I could crack that top 10 mark and I could be floating around, 10. And that's exactly what happened. And so I'm glad Mike Iaconelli put together this tournament. I'm glad I got a chance to kind of compete against him. And I'm glad that I did as well as I did and proved to myself that I can fish with a lot of competitors. I mean, this was a nationwide tournament. And so we did well. This is just the beginning of the real journey. We have to improve on so much. So many things I'd love to improve on. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and you can follow my real journey as I continue to improve. And I really want to grow this channel. I really want to be a much bigger YouTuber. I'd love to be one of those fishing YouTubers that takes out my boat and goes to these big lakes and stuff and shows you, how to fish this, how to fish that, and just really bring you along the ride that is the real journey. But we're taking baby steps right now, but I think we might do something. I think we might be on our way. It might take a little bit of time, but it will help if you subscribe. It will help if you share this channel. Those types of things help more than anything. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be putting out another one shortly because that's what I do here at Real Journey. And we're out. Peace.